What's up guys, this is Miasin. So today I'm really excited to show you my Crystron combos and deck profile, but most importantly, I have some great news to share with you. I'm proud to announce that after countless hours of work, my Crystron spreadsheet and guide is finally complete and ready to go, and trust me when I say it's a nice one. For only $20 USD, you'll have access to a beautiful, high quality, and user-friendly spreadsheet containing a whopping 50 combos, which include uninterrupted combos and also playing through handshaps including Ash, Imperm, every single Molchemy monster, Dimension Shifter, and even Artifact Lancia. These combos also come with relevant information about them, which will help you identify their strengths and weaknesses, and also when they're more optimal than others. The spreadsheet also comes with an optimized deck list containing my reasoning behind every single card and ratio in the deck, which will help you understand the cards you truly need to build a deck so that you don't make unnecessary purchases. You will also find sighting patterns done easy for 15 decks in the metagame so that you can save yourself the headache before a tournament and during your rounds. I've also included alternative texts and engines to play in Crystron, as well as their strengths and weaknesses. Purchasing the spreadsheet will also give you access to my Crystron Discord server, where I plan on bouncing back ideas with everyone on it, and where I can answer specific questions on the deck which can help everyone on it. Finally, once the spreadsheet hits 100 sales, I will do a giveaway where I'll be handing out diverse prizes, such as, for example, a sought-after secret rare, cash money, or a free coaching session with me. I'll be honest with you, everyone who got to check the spreadsheet so far was beyond satisfied, so I genuinely recommend spending the $20 on it. If anything, you'll actually be saving much more than $20 in time, since I've invested over 100 hours understanding the deck, working on the combos, and building the sheet. And you'll even be saving actual money by knowing exactly what to get for your Crystron deck and avoid buying cards you just don't need. If you're interested in the spreadsheet, all you have to do is PayPal me $20 US, and make sure to state your Gmail account in the transfer so that I know who to share the spreadsheet with. If you forget to state your Gmail in the transfer, don't worry, just email me a proof of payment with your Gmail, and I'll share the spreadsheet with you as soon as I can. Unless I'm sleeping, I should never take too long to grant you access to the spreadsheet, so don't worry about the delay. The specs of the spreadsheet alongside all the steps to buy it are at the top of the description, so please check it out as soon as you can. Anyways, with that said, let's get on with the video. That was absolutely beautiful, and I can promise you, you will not be disappointed by the spreadsheet. Anyways, I will be showcasing 3 combos on this video, as well as, of course, the deck profile, and some of these combos are actually included in the spreadsheet. This first one is actually a part of the spreadsheet, so it's the Foolish Burial OTK combo. How much damage can you achieve with one single Foolish Burial? Well, it's actually really impressive to see that Foolish Burial is a starter in Crystron, and it's a really good starter on top of that. So you're going to be foolishing the Smyger. Smyger is going to be searching your Inclusion. Inclusion is going to be searching the Sulfid Hole. They changed the name to Sulfidor, but I'm obviously always going to call them by their own name. Anyways, we're going to be sending the Theisvern as well as the Prassiordal. This card is not seeing much play in a lot of Crystron builds, but I am a huge fan of it, and I really do recommend looking into it. But yeah, the Prassiordal doesn't have to use its effect yet. We're going to be using our normal summon on the Tristalos, and then we're going to be synchro summoning into the Eliskeletas, which they also changed the name to like Eliskeletas or something. A little sus, but it's not the end of the world. We're going to be recycling back the Theisvern from the Banished, which, I mean, it could have been Theisvern, it could have been Smyger, but Theisvern, I guess, is a little better in this situation. You're going to be using the Graveyard effect of Tristalos to destroy the Eliskeletas, summon 2 monsters from the deck, which will be the Sulfnir and the Sulfidol. Other way around, and the Eliskeletas will be reviving back the Tristalos from the Banished. Then we're going to be making Nova into Infinity. Prassiordal is going to be summoning the Theisvern from the hand. We're going to be synchro summoning into the High Speed Word Shenbara, and then also revive back the Eliskeletas. And this is exactly 9,900 damage, and you do have the Infinity to absorb a monster. So that's not too bad at all, right? Considering that all you have is Foolish Burial. Okay, so in this combo right here, we have Speedward Terratop and absolutely nothing else, and we can do a lot just with one single card. And no, we're not playing Speedward, we're playing Crystron. So yeah, special summon the Terratop, search your deck for attack at Tumborg, make Cherubini, and at this point, if your opponent has Valor Imperm, it doesn't matter because this card, Foolish, is for cost. So that's a nice Valor you got there, Bernard. And even if your opponent like Valors the Terratop, you can just normal summon an Ash, or normal summon a Ghost Ogre, normal summon Mourner, and you just don't care, you still make Cherubini. Anyways, we're now going to be sending the Smyger, and then Smyger search the Inclusion. Inclusion, of course, is going to be searching the Sulfid Hole, which will destroy the Inclusion in order to send 2 Crystron cards from your deck to the graveyard with different names. And that'll be the Theisvern as well as the Cluster. Theisvern is going to be searching the Tristalos, synchro summon it into the Eliskeletas. By the way, always try to capitalize off of the zones that Cherubini gives you access to. So for example, the Sulfid Hole, if you summon it here, you mitigate the impact of Ghost Ogre. Tristalos, if your opponent does something, you can go for the you can chain the Tristalos to that effect, and then if your opponent tries to Ghost Ogre that, it's not going to work because Cherubini protects every monster that it points to from being destroyed by card effects. So that is some nice protection that Cherubini gives you access to. Anyways, Tristalos is going to be destroying the Eliskeletas, which did recycle back the cluster from the graveyard that we sent with the Sulfid Hole. And when we destroy the Eligibility, we get to summon 2 Crystron monsters from the deck off of the Tristalos, and that's going to be the Rose Nyx as well as the Sofnir. Rose Nyx could theoretically also be Praseodyl. It doesn't really change anything. And we're going to be using Eligibility to summon the Tristalos back from the Banished. And then either Rose Nyx or Praseodyl is going to be destroying the Sofnir, summon the Citri from the deck, and Sofnir is going to be floating into another level 5, which can be another copy of itself, because just like Fenrir being able to search Fenrir, Sofnir can also summon Sofnir. And then we're going to be synchro summoning into Dragster. Make sure that you summon it here, so that if your opponent tries to activate a spell or trap card, you can negate it with Dragster. And if your opponent has the Ghost Ogre with it, Cherubini actually protects. So the protection is really relevant. Make sure, like I said, to capitalize off of the zones. Anyways, now we're going to be ending on Dragster, Citri, Tristalos, and Cluster. And it doesn't look like too much, but it's actually a lot of disruptions. And I actually know exactly how many. It's 4 interruptions. The reason for that is because we have Dragster number 1 to negate a spell trap, and it also loses 2 levels, which is really relevant. And then after that, we can go Citri on the main phase to quick sync into Dragster number 2. And then we can go, okay, Tristalos, Cluster. So Cluster is going to be destroying a card on the field. Shuffle back the Citri so that you don't need to play any more than 1. And then Tristalos is going to be summoning back the Citri when your opponent activates a card or effect, either later on or directly in this sequencing. And then we can quick sync into Quarion Gondrax using the level 5 Dragster, as well as the Citri and the Tristalos and Quarion Gondrax. It can banish up to 3 monsters either from your opponent's field and or graveyard. So that's extremely good against Fiendsmith-based strategies as well as Raziel. And yeah, there is pretty much no way you lose at this point. I mean, this is a 1-card combo. You still have 4 other cards in your hand, and you got 4 interruptions and a lot of follow-up because your graveyard is stacked with a bunch of effects, which is my favorite part about Crystron personally. Alright, last but definitely not least, and this is actually a combo in the spreadsheet. This time we have Inclusion as well as Crystron Smyger, and we can actually do quite a lot. Even though this hand looks a little bit redundant, I feel like a lot of people don't really know exactly how to play this hand out, but if you know exactly what you're doing, you can do some wonders. So you're going to be searching the Sulfid Hole and then destroy the Inclusion, use Sulfid Hole's effect. You're going to be sending the Praseodyl as well as Theisvern, and you're going to be searching the Tristalos off of the Theisvern. And don't worry, this Smyger will eventually be very useful. Anyways, Skeletas will recycle back the Sulfid Hole, yes, out of everything. And then you're going to be banishing the Tristalos in order to destroy the Eligibilitas, summon the Sofnir as well as Citri, and Eligibilitas is going to be reviving back the Tristalos. And then synchro summon it into Dragster, and now use Sofnir's effect by discarding the Smyger, revive back the Sofnir, and then destroy it, summon another Sofnir, and then banish the Praseodyl, summon the Sulfid Hole from hand, and then overlay for Nova, overlay for Infinity, use Smyger in order to search the Cluster, and then use Inclusion to revive back the Citri, and then we can set the Cluster, and that is 5 disruptions. Even though this hand didn't look like it was that great because, you know, Smyger and Inclusion, both of them are 1-card starters, it feels like it's a little redundant. It's kind of like drawing Ice Raziel and X Raziel and not getting stopped. But in this situation, you actually make a bigger board, you know, when you got more Crystron cards in your hand, which is something that like I said, also really like about Crystron. So in case you're still confused about the sequencing, we're going to be going Dragster or Infinity to negate something, and then we're going to be going Citri to revive back the Sofnir, make another Dragster, and then we're going to be using Cluster Effect to destroy something on the opponent's field, and then also shuffle back the Citri, and then we're going to be going Tristalos, summon back the Citri that we just shuffled using the Cluster, and then quick sync using the Tristalos, the Citri that we summoned off of the Tristalos, and one of the 2 level 5 Dragsters. One of them, obviously, like I said, is going to be summoned off of the Citri. So that is double Dragster, Quarion Gondrax, Cluster to pop, and Infinity to negate. 5 disruptions off of 2 cards, and you still have 3 other cards in your hand. The beautiful part about this combo is that it plays really, really, really well into every hand trap that you can think of. Yes, I said every hand trap, so this combo can even play through things like Ash Veiler, Imperm, Dimension Shifter, Lancia, everything. Alrighty, for the deck profile now, we are playing 12 hand traps as well as 3 board breakers and a Call by the Grave. So this is, what, 60 non-engine cards and 40 cards, and we're playing a lot of consistency cards. And I think that this is a very clean deck list. It is not the deck list that I'm providing in the spreadsheet just because I want to show different things, right? But this is a great version, obviously. The Speedboard engine, I do believe in it because this card is a 1-card starter, and it's not too redundant because if you already have your engine, well, first of all, you can still make a Cherubini to scare your opponent, or you can make a Clockwork Knight and then an SP and then break your opponent's boards without having to commit to your normal summon. So I think the Turret Top is always a great card to have access to. And obviously the hand traps, if you play 12, as well as the droplets and then Call by the Grave, you should be relatively good for going second. And like I said, this deck is ultra consistent, so when you go first, you have nothing to be afraid of. So I'm playing 2 copies of Tristalos because it's just another normal summon, and you play a lot already in your deck. You have Smyger, you have, Theisvern sometimes, you got Brassiordal, Rosenix potentially. So I feel like with 2 Tristalos, you should be way more than okay. 1 Theisvern, 1 Brassiordal, you really don't need more than 1. And then the 1 Rosenix, which is the most questionable card in the deck. However, it does offer you a way to completely survive against the Tenpai Dragon OTK because your Tristalos can summon the Rosenix from the deck, and then you can quick sync into Powered and Zektron. And this card has kind of like a Waboku / Curry Photon effect, where this turn, when it is synchro summoned, not only does it not die by battle by card effect, but also you take no damage. So you can't get burned to death, you can't get destroyed by the Trident Dragion, the Sangan whatever monsters. It's not going to do anything against you, you just survive, and then, yeah, Tenpai is not going to be doing much to interrupt you after that, and then you can make a comeback. So yeah, it's a great card in case Tenpai Dragon gains in popularity, and all it forces you to do is play 1 Rosenix in the main deck, and then 1 Powered Zektron in the extra deck, and the Rosenix can even be in the side deck if you really want to. 2 copies of Sulphid Hole, as well as 3 Sofnir. This is the superior ratio, and you really do have to play 5 level 5 monsters at the very least in your deck, so that you don't run out of level 5 monsters too quickly, because you go through them at the speed of light. When you use Tristalos effect to destroy the Eligibility and summon 2 monsters from the deck, usually it's going to be at least 1 level 5, sometimes it's even 2, and the Sofnir sometimes summons another Sofnir, so you run out of gas very, very quickly. If you play 5, then it's not too bad, because over time, you can shuffle them back with Cluster, you can recycle them back with Eligibility, so again, you have nothing to be worry about if you play this ratio. I am playing 3 Smyger as well as 3 Inclusion and the Foolish Burial, so that's 7 1-card starters, as well as the 3 Terratops, so that's 10, and Prosperity, which usually will dig into a consistency card, or if you have too many of them, you can just dig into a hand shop, and that is completely fine as well. And then the 3 quote-unquote bricks of the deck, so Speedroid Takatumborg, the Crystron Citri, and the Crystron Cluster. These 2 cards, at the very least, you can argue are Crystron cards, so they can be discard fodder for Sofnir. And Citri, you can normal summon it and then destroy it with Sulphid Hole and then play from there. And it leads to 3 disruptions on its own, which is not too bad. But it's not great either. I think the combos involving Sulphid Hole as your only starter, they're very, vulnerable to hand shops. So that is the reason why this card is typically referred to as the inferior starter, and Sofnir is usually the better card, and it's also an extender, so it's really nice to have access to it, and it's also a lot of wiggle room in your deck. You don't really need it for too many combos. I'm a huge fan of Sofnir personally. You don't really want to draw these cards, preferably, but sometimes it's not too bad. Takatumborg obviously is the worst card to draw in this deck. So yeah, 40 cards, I think this is the optimal number of cards to play in the deck. For the extra deck, 1 Quarion Gondrax. Obviously, this card is insane. It has, like, so many good matchups, but it's really bad against Malice. Obviously, you're not trying to banish Malice monsters, unless they already used up their effects, in which case it can be fine. Samurai Destroyer. This card is extremely good for its second effect, not for its first effect. So if you get hit by Nibiru, your Tristalos is going to be chaining its effect to Nibiru, summon to level 5, summon the Samurai Destroyer, and then Nib is going to be making the Samurai Destroyer leave the field, and then you can use its effect, revive back a machine monster in the grave, and you can even revive itself back, and then if it leaves the field by opponent's card effect again, you can just loop it back over and over. It's really funny. Anyways, 2 Eligibilities. Obviously, you don't really want to get Unicorn for your one of and then have no other plays. 2 F8 Dragsters. I showcase combos where you can summon 2. 1 Paradise Zektron for the Rosenix so that you can sponge OTKs. Chenbara 2 OTK yourself, Infinity and Nova. And then the other rank 5, which is another monster negate, and you can make this after you burn your Infinity on turn 3. Typhon for going second when you have way too many hand shops and not enough Crystron plays. SP to break boards, but also to dodge interruptions. This card is extremely good. Clockwork Knight, obviously this card is a no-brainer. You don't need it for its for its actual effect. You really just need it because it's a better Salamangreat Almirage in this deck. And finally Cherubini so that your Terratop can be a 1-card starter. So I think this is a great extra deck. It's gonna give you get you places. And finally for the side deck, we are on 3 Crossout Designators, 3 Molchami Porolia, 3 Nibiru, 3 Artifact Lancia, and 3 Molchami Nialis. So this side deck has Malice in consideration, as well as, Raziel, and also going first in consideration because we have Crossout as well as, the cards that actually do beat us, such as Lancia. But apart from that, nothing to be really afraid of. This deck is extremely good, really flexible, and also it can catch people off guard because nobody really plays correctly against this deck, and this is something that us, Crystron players, we can take advantage of that. That's it for this video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and please let me know how you like this Crystron deck, and also how you feel about my spreadsheet once you buy it. But yeah, again, I really appreciate you guys, and I'll see you guys very soon with another video. Peace.